Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Hey, Omar.
Dr. George Whitten, it's good to see you again, sir. How you doing?
Great. Let me get across the hall to a quiet room.
Dr. George Whitten, I want to ask you a question. If somebody says to somebody, good morning, and then the person replies and says, how come? And then the response that the person's supposed to receive after they say, how come, it's supposed to be a response that reflects on what they're mentioning, which is them mourning, right? And then
Right. Yeah. Why is it a good morning? How come it's a good morning?
right, that's what I thought. Cause
Yeah. How come is like a colloquial or slang for why.
got it. Yes, I thought I understood it wrong or something.
Yeah. So it's like, how come you left the refrigerator door open? That's instead of saying, why did you leave the refrigerator door open?
Right.
It doesn't sound like good English, but you hear it a lot.
Right.
So how you doing?
Literally right before Mr. Cooper called me, I was brushing my teeth, and I couldn't stand the pain in my back long enough to finish brushing my teeth. Um, and it happens like that happens every
Is that
day.
just from standing up?
Yeah, standing up and leaning over the sink and and brushing my teeth. And
Right.
I'm noticing also
So
I'm noticing also when I'm
go
brushing
ahead.
the left side of my teeth, the left side of my face will feel
Huh?
paralyzed. And then what else? My neck and my back keeps hurting the same. My hands and arms keep going numb the same. The tightness in my legs is not as intense as it was about a week ago. But I noticed when I was just standing up on the phone talking to Mr. Cooper,
Uh-huh.
I felt tingling in my feet. Um, and then when he was mentioning to me the symptoms of anxiety,
Right.
I felt a sharp, paralyzing pain in my right arm. Um, when I was thinking about what he was saying, um, what else? Uh, the snot that's coming out of my nose. It's when I'm blowing my nose, I'm noticing where the snot is landing on my face, and I'm not able to clean it thoroughly. I'm noticing there's pimples forming there. Um,
Right.
it feels like something's clogged up in my airways. Um, well, I'm having difficulties like remembering things that I need to remember that I'm trying to focus on. Like, for example, if I'm listening to a lecture or something for school or a video for something that's important and I'm trying to retain the information and remember it long enough so I could write it down quick enough. I'm having difficulties doing that. And then I'm noticing when uh, what was I gonna say? When when I'm watching something or listening to something,
Uh-huh.
I'm noticing sometimes my arms or my legs will like lock up and seize up, and and I won't even notice that they're locked up and seized up like that until it starts hurting me, and until it starts hurting like my neck and my back, and I'm noticing I'm not even able to understand what I'm listening to or watching, and they're speaking English, and then I'll notice that,
Right.
and then I'll relax my body. I'll take a deep breath, and I'll notice that my heart rate will slow down, my heartbeat will slow down a little bit, and I'll immediately
Right.
notice that something is like wrong with my nerves or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have a lot of stuff that's going on, and a lot of it is we can't find like major physical things. I mean, I know you've had injuries, but even the EMG that Dr. Ortiz did only showed a mild entrapment at your left elbow, that funny bone nerve. And so, even though you have all these muscle pains and spasms and symptoms, we can't really document why. And I think a lot of it does relate to a lot of anxiety and depression. And you would really benefit from progressive relaxation techniques. And I don't know if we could get you hooked up with somebody through a video visit or even find some videos that teach that. I remember having a tape that taught it, and you could literally just lie there perfectly still and follow what the guy was saying on the tape. And he would have you start with, like, say your eyes, and you're totally relaxed, and he says, I want you to tighten your eyes as tight as you can, like you just got pepper spray in them. And then I want you to just slowly relax that tightness until you feel your eyes are completely relaxed, but you haven't reopened them yet. And you kind of do that over like a minute. And then after that, he would say, okay, now I want you to frown frown with your what I'm trying to think of the word we use, furrow your brow, where you like make your forehead go real tight between the eyes, like you're furrowing your brow and making that real tight, and then slowly relax those muscles until those muscles are completely relaxed. Then now I want you to raise your eyebrows as high as you can, wrinkle in your forehead. Now I want you to slowly relax those muscles till your forehead is completely flat without any wrinkles. And he would do that from the head to the toes, slowly tightening the muscles so you feel that what they feel like when they're tight, but then slowly relaxing them so you understand how you go about doing that. So that whenever that happens to you, when something tightens up, you recognize it and you can relax it before your whole body gets locked up. It's just progressive relaxation techniques. The breathing is a part of it. Like you say, slow, deep breaths. I can literally breathe 3 times in a minute, but I can't keep it up. You just like pretty soon you got to start breathing faster. But slowly taking a breath in as deep as you can, so you can't get any more breath in your lungs, and then very slowly starting to let it slowly back out. And it's amazing how you can do that in like 20 seconds. Then you do it again. So you can literally take 3 breaths in a minute doing that slowly, and that relaxes you. As you exhale, your whole body's just kind of going limp.
I just felt a sharp pain on the right side of my head. Right here.
Yeah. So, okay. So when you get a pain there, you can try squinching your eyes real tight, clenching your teeth real tight, and just making all those muscles tight, and then just slowly relax all those muscles, and see if that temporalis and frontalis muscle up there will kind of relax with that.
The sharp pain went away, but it still feels like there's like an aching pain there.
Yeah. I mean, there's the underlying injuries you've had in the past and all the anxiety that you have now. You have to learn to recognize what that's doing to your body, and learn how to relax those muscles as soon as you recognize it. And by doing these progressive relaxation techniques where you first tighten and then slowly relax, you teach your body how to recognize what's going into spasm and how to relax it. I've had people frequently ask me, why are you frowning? I'm like, I didn't know I was frowning. I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh my God, my brow's all furrowed. I didn't even know I was doing that. Sometimes you do it when you're deep in thought. So you have to learn to recognize that so you can relax that, get back to that totally relaxed state so you can focus. Because you get preoccupied with whatever and you can't focus.
Yeah, that causes problems because then people will misjudge you, and then that'll distract you based on how they react, and you're not expecting that reaction, and and you're expecting them to react, in your favor. Absolutely, you're right. I can understand that from a broad perspective. I mean, from a
unfortunately, people's perceptions are their reality, and so trying to be able to have good composure of what your body's doing really helps you when you're interacting with other people. So you're taking courses at TCC. Is that what Cooper told me?
Yes. Yes. But the problem is I'm having difficulties because of my injuries, and I don't want to have my injuries stop me from getting my law degree and my medical degree. And I called the school and I told them, and they told me to call my primary care physician to get a diagnosis so I could email it to them and they could document it and they could provide me with the accommodations. They said that they'll be able to provide me with more time to take my tests and someone to help me with my notes and counseling services.
Mm-hmm. Is that at TCC?
Yes.
Which they're getting ready to rename.
Tallahassee College.
Yeah, Tallahassee, Florida. Was it Tallahassee, Florida?
College, probably, yes.
College, something like that, yeah. Tallahassee, Florida State College, I think is what it is. Because they offer 4-year degrees now. It's not just a 2-year college. They're doing that all over the state. All the community colleges are becoming 4-year colleges. They're all changing their names. Do you want me to send a letter to you to send to them, or do you have an address to send it to them?
They said to send it to sas@tcc.fl.edu. But if you could send me if you could send me the same email, so at least I have it documented, so I don't lose track of it. That'll be great. Or if you could send them the email and CC me on the email, or vice versa. However,
there should be a way for us to do that. We send everything through Athena fax, so it keeps a record of it, and then so we could also. Are you on the patient portal? Yeah, you're on the portal, so you could access it directly through the portal. We could put it on that.
There's a sharp pain right here on the back left side of my head, underneath my skull. It's like a real sharp pain all of a sudden. I'm tired of feeling like this. I just want to be able to feel normal again. I need a job that could accommodate my injuries, or a career that could accommodate my injuries. My mom, she always tells me she wished that when I call her, or when I'm on a video call with her, that that I could tell her something good, or that she could see me doing something other than me being in pain all the time and complaining to her.
Yeah. let's see, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you've been going through all this now for what, about 4 years?
Yes.
And I know they've tried a lot of different medicines to help with the mood, but you seem to have adverse reactions to almost everything they've tried. It makes it so difficult. It's like trying to get you in here for face-to-face appointments to check out things that you complain about, but then you can never make it. And part of it is because you get so preoccupied with germs and toxic exposure that it cripples your life. You can't do the things you need to do. We need to have you on some medicine that stabilizes that, so you can function better. The psychosomatic affects the that's what psychosomatic means. The mind affects the body, and you can't get anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that if I could drive without having to worry about my neck and my back hurting more, or my hands and arms going numb more, or me driving making my injuries worse, and having my own personal vehicle, for example, and obviously my vehicle is going to be clean and much more sanitary than a medical Lyft or a medical Uber or a medical rideshare transportation vehicle that's sent to pick me up and bring me home from my doctor's appointments or the emergency room. Is going to make a big difference, because just like I complained to you previously when I left your doctor's office and they sent a unsanitary transportation vehicle from the Humana Transportation Company, Motive Care.
Right.
And literally just opening the door, and within 1 minute of me telling the driver I have to dispatch another vehicle because the seats are dirty and the vehicle smells toxic and it's making me feel sick. And immediately, literally, my head started hurting, my body started heating up. I started feeling symptoms similar to the coronavirus.
Right, but that's not how viruses work, and you're having like an exaggerated response to these things, which is not normal.
You're right, because it's happening more than once. Like, for example,
right.
It's happened that time when I mentioned it to you. It happened when after my neurologist appointment, when Dr. Winston Ortiz told me I have nerve entrapment in my neck, and that's why the nerves are damaged. And
you don't have nerve entrapment in your neck. Your EMG was normal. All you have is very mild nerve entrapment of the left elbow. Okay.
I don't know the difference, but my neck is always hurting. My hands and arms keep going numb on both sides. But the transportation vehicle that they sent to pick me up from the neurologist appointment that day to bring me home,
right?
It was an unsanitary vehicle. The vehicle smelled like mold and cigarette ashtray. And literally, when I got in the vehicle, within 1 minute, I sat down. I put my seatbelt on. And within 1 minute of me putting on my seatbelt, I immediately started feeling sick again. And my body started heating up. I started getting a headache. I started feeling dizzy. And I smelled a distinctive smell of mold and cigarette ashtray.
No, I understand. And that's a nasty feeling, but it should not give you all of those physical problems. I mean, it can make you.
I don't know.
I mean, I can't stand the smell of cigarettes and mold, and they can make my nose stop up, but they're not going to make my whole body shut down.
Yeah, I don't know if the driver had some kind of respiratory infection, and the smell or the smoke from her cigarettes, and her inhaling and exhaling the smoke, lingering into the vehicle, and that respiratory infection compromising the air quality in the vehicle that she was attempting to transport me home in. But that could have been a potential factor. But it literally within 1 minute, I started feeling sick again, and I had to walk back into the emergency room. They wheeled me to the emergency room side, which was like 100 yards away from the entrance to Dr. Winston Ortiz's neurologist's office.
Right.
Um, and that's not the second time it's happened. It's happened several times before that. For example, when I was in South Florida and in Vero Beach, Florida, they did the same thing to me several times. And in Vero Beach, for example, I got injured in Vero Beach, even worse. And the what was it, the insurance company for what was it called, Zurich Insurance. It was some kind of federal procurement insurance from a federal project that we were working on in Vero Beach. I mean in Daytona Beach, Florida. When I was living in Vero Beach, we were commuting to Daytona Beach for the federal project. But I ended up getting injured, and there was a big situation that involved the employees there sexually harassing the high school girls at that federal project and concealing illegal narcotics in PVC pipes and sealing them with couplings on the end of them. And it was a big problem. I had to report the situation, and I ended up getting injured also. It was a big problem. But when they sent me to the doctor through the Zurich Insurance, they kept sending me unsanitary transportation vehicles that were making me sick. The transportation vehicles smelled like some kind of chemical from that they sprayed to kill rats. And it was a distinctive smell. I remember the smell from what we sprayed inside an Airbnb location in Boca Raton, Florida. What else? It was several different situations that involved the same type of thing I just mentioned to you. Them sending me unsanitary transportation vehicles. And they did that to me several different times. They did that to me in South Florida also after I reported the police brutality cases that caused the injuries to my upper extremities and lower extremities. And it's as if they were purposely retaliating against me and trying to, mask it in an indirect way for it to be more difficult for me to prove that they were retaliating against me. But in all actuality, it was obvious because it was happening to me, and it was happening over and over. And it turned into a violation of 18 U.S. Code Statute 1513, the retaliation against a victim, witness, or informant statute. And it was also a violation of 766.110, the healthcare liability statute. But I reported that several times. They're aware of it at this point. They opened up an investigation also about the unsanitary transportation vehicles that I just reported to you.
Right.
So hopefully that helps. But the risks are outweighing the benefits, and I don't want them to think that I'm not doing everything I possibly could to try to fully recover and report the situation and do all those necessary things, and also there's several different responsible parties involved for my injuries. There the police, there the municipalities of city and state government in South Florida, and then there are the entities and municipalities of city and state government. So it's all under the same municipalities of city and state government, but at the same time, there are individual people that are responsible. For example, there are people who used to be government employees and are no longer government employees. There are people who are friends of, police officers that are responsible, and, they don't work for the government and things like that. So, they're evaluating the monetary value of my injuries and things like that. So I'm doing everything I possibly could to be fair, and so a specific party is not responsible for paying more money than another party that's responsible to pay for the injuries that they cause to my upper extremities and lower extremities. Because at the end of the day, I'm just trying to accomplish my necessary living necessities at the least, and the goals that I have to accomplish in life, and that I wish to accomplish in life. And the injuries that were caused to my upper extremities and lower extremities are making it very difficult for me to do those things. You understand? I mean, I'm just trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but the thing is, we don't have a lot of objective evidence that you have major injuries. I'm not saying you don't hurt, but yeah, I think that you become so preoccupied with all this. You've built this. You're living in this bubble where you're scared to go anywhere and do anything. Your body, just becomes your enemy, and it hurts, or it reacts to every smell and everything. You just it's like you overreact to everything, and I don't see it ever getting better if you're not on medication that's going to allow you to not be so anxious and have your body react to everything. It's just like it's like you're just in this vicious cycle of not really getting anywhere.
I mean, the only other option that I could think of until I'm able to obtain monetary relief from these equitable tolling remedy matters is, like you said, some kind of medication or some kind of counseling or some kind of talk therapy or something, because without monetary relief, I'm not going to be able to afford quality preventative care, and that's obviously what anybody would need in this type of situation, and or before this type of situation, to prevent this type of situation from happening in the first place. So, I'm on Social Security disability income. I've only got $943 a month in income, and 200 and I think it's $200 something in food stamps. So, that's not nearly as much money as I would need to be able to afford, quality preventative care. I'm literally having to sacrifice my money for food to be able to afford, cleaning supplies and hygiene products, and my utility bills, and the money that I need to pay to my landlord, and things like that.
Right. Yeah. So we can probably, I'm sure, figure out some way to do some telehealth visits like you and I are doing right now with mental health. I just have to get with our licensed clinical social worker and figure out how we're going to do that. I really would like to try find something that would help with your anxiety more. You've got a list of a bunch of things you can't take, and so it limits us somewhat. But I think it's just going to be hard for you to ever get ahead when it's like you get out of your little bubble and you decompensate. You shouldn't have that much reaction to an unsanitized vehicle. It should not be that bad.
Right.
Not where your whole body is reacting. I mean, I understand. I've seen my wife's whole sinuses can clog up in 5 seconds if she walks into a moldy basement. Somebody with asthma can breathe cleaning fluid and go into an asthma attack. I mean, I understand it, but your whole body seems to react to these situations more than it should. And a lot of it, like I said, it is psychosomatic. The anxiety and all kicks in, and it just makes it a lot worse than it should be. And it's keeping you from being able to function normally.
Right. Too many bad experiences.
Yeah. Well, and that's all part of it. Anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, I mean, there's just so many variables that come into play.
Yeah, I've become a victim too many times over, and it's like, for example, one situation I mentioned to you that really bothers me a lot is the fact that it's affected my infant daughter. There was a situation in Boca Raton, the same situation I was mentioning to you earlier about the how I recognize the smell of the rat poison chemical.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
There was an Airbnb in Boca Raton uh, that I moved into with my infant daughter and my infant daughter's mother, and we came to find out that the Airbnb was infested with rat feces and rats and all other different types of things that they did not mention on the Airbnb advertisement.
Of course not.
And it made my daughter sick. And then my daughter's pacifier fell on the floor, the same floor where there was rat feces and things like that. And the owner of the Airbnb said it's okay, she's not gonna die if she puts the pacifier back in her mouth after it fell on the floor. I looked at her and I didn't know what to say other than she's a scam artist. And, what she's saying is an attempt of murder. Because, for one, she's an infant child who's defenseless. And if we weren't there and she was there with my daughter, for example, and she allowed my daughter's pacifier to fall on an unsanitary floor, she would be okay with putting it back in her mouth.
Wow.
And I had to file a lawsuit against the Bank of America because the Bank of America said that they cover fraudulent transactions, and that was a fraudulent transaction in several different ways. She false advertised. She took payment for services that were falsely advertised.
Right.
And we paid.
So what that have to do with Bank of America?
Because it was paid through my Bank of America account. And Bank of America was ultimately responsible. And Bank of America, because of the ongoing lawsuits against the government entities in South Florida, they were picking and choosing sides, and they didn't want to help me, and they didn't care that it made my daughter sick, my infant daughter sick. And I mentioned all of that in the lawsuit to the judge, and they specifically said, I specifically told them that the Supreme Court ruled it to be unconstitutional to put a price on a child's life when it comes to any type of case that involves a child dying. And I specifically mentioned to them that that Airbnb had rat feces all over it. It was toxic, and it could have very well, God forbid, it could have caused some very serious problems to my infant child, whether in the immediate situation or in the future. And she could have died.
So what happened with that case?
Well, I won the case. And the Bank of America told me, and the Bank of America told me, what do I want? I said, I want my daughter to have the best health care, and I want my money back. So they wrote me a check for my money back, and they said if I ever need anything to specifically call that specific what's it called? Is the executive member services at Bank of America. I still have the email. There's a name and number for a specific gentleman there said if I ever need anything, to just call him.
So what they do as far as giving your daughter medical care?
Well, that's what I told them I wanted. I told them I want my daughter to have the best health care, and I want my money back. So they wrote me a check for my money back, and ever since, my daughter's mother has changed her number. She's changed her name. She's changed her address, and she's nowhere to be found.
So how old is your daughter now?
My daughter's turning 3.
Yeah.
On June 4th.
Yeah. Okay. So they've so Bank of America never ever was able to provide your daughter with the health care because they disappeared?
I don't know. I don't know if they did, or
you just don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. They asked me, what do I want?
Right.
I told them what I want. I told them I want my daughter to have the best health care, and I want my money back. They wrote me.
Well, you got your money back, but you don't know what happened with your daughter.
Correct.
All right. So we've been on for 36 and a half minutes. So I got to get off the computer. So I'm going to look into some type of see what we can arrange in terms of some counseling, mental health service that can be done, through the video. And then I'll put together a letter to send to sas@tcc.florida.edu.
Yes.
All right, and then I'll send you a copy of it through the portal. And then I'm going to look over, I think it's a list of like 9 or 11 medicines that you've had one reaction or another to, and see if I can come up with something that would help with anxiety that's, not related to any of those. Most of the time, I mean, it's hard to believe that you had hives to that many different medications, but, we actually break out in whelps. But anyway,
yeah,
all we can do
I don't know about the welts, breaking out in welts, but I know from what I remember specifically when I took a medication called Saffris. It was it was a dissolvable tablet that they asked me to put on my tongue.
Yeah.
It was at a place called Henderson Behavioral Health Center in Broward County.
Uh-huh.
I was literally there because I walked myself into the Henderson Behavioral Health Center, and I explained to them a situation that I was having difficulties with, and they prescribed me a mood stabilizer at the time, and it's the same thing that they prescribed me medical marijuana for now at TrueLeave through Dr. Murphy. Same exact symptoms, but they said that they have medical marijuana that they can prescribe for those same symptoms now. But at the time they asked me to put a dissolvable tablet called Saffris on my tongue.
Right.
And I did what they said. I was there with my dad also. My dad was driving me to the courthouse for a meeting at the courthouse for something.
So you put the Saffris on your tongue.
Yeah, so I put the Saffris on my tongue. It dissolved, and literally within 1 minute, I started feeling dizzy. My tongue swelled up. I couldn't pronounce my words clearly. I was talking like death. Like I couldn't talk clearly, and I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't, I was feeling dizzy. I couldn't stand up straight.
Well, yeah. So you definitely had angioedema. Your tongue swelled. So that was definitely an allergic reaction.
Yeah, and I started feeling really sick, and I started feeling really heavy. I felt like I was gonna faint, and I was, but at the same time, I didn't want to. I was scared to allow my body to completely faint and go unconscious because I felt like I was gonna die. So I was literally struggling to stay awake and stand up straight, and I was literally having to hold on to the walls, uh, it was bad. It was like immediate allergic reaction,
Right.
and then I felt really sick afterwards. After that feeling went away, I felt my nose was all clogged up. I felt sick, and it was really bad. And then I felt a similar reaction when they injected me with Ativan. It's some kind of medication that they inject people with. And,
Yeah, it's for anxiety.
yeah, and then also felt
And to stop seizures.
yeah, and then I also felt a really bad pain where
All right,
where they
so
injected me
when
with.
you had the Ativan injection, they can definitely make you feel drunk, sleepy, but it shouldn't have made your tongue swell.
Well, I wasn't able to speak. I was literally talking like this after the same
After
way.
the Ativan also?
Yeah, after the injection of the Ativan, and where
Now,
they,
was that because you were drunk from it or because your tongue swelled?
I'm assuming it was an allergic reaction. It was almost the same exact symptoms as the Sapphirs.
But did your tongue swell?
Uh, yeah, I was talking like this, like I couldn't pronounce my words clearly, and
Yeah.
and what else? In the where they intravenously injected me with the Ativan injection, there was a really bad sharp pain there for
Right.
almost a week. They injected me in my buttocks. They injected me in my arm as well, and the same pain for the same length of time was there. And the same thing with another medication. It was called Haldol.
Right.
The exact same symptoms, the exact same pain in the injection um, area
Right.
for the same amount of time. What else? Uh, and then when I would wake up from those injections, I would feel sick. My nose would be clogged
Right.
up. I'd feel all congested. Um, so it's bad, man. Those anything like those medications, I can't take at
Right.
all.
Well, yeah, that's why we would have to get somebody skilled in the medications to try to come up with something that you would tolerate. All right. So anyway, I'll look into it. I'll do the letter and see what we can try to get arranged in terms of video visits to try to help you some. Look up online and just see if you can find any like stuff that you can listen to that does progressive relaxation. Because just like I was talking to you at the beginning of this meeting about tightening and relaxing muscles, and if you have somebody just talking to you, slowly having you do that while you're just lying there with your eyes closed, relaxed, and going through that whole thing from top to bottom, um, and you kind of do that regularly, it can really, really help you in terms of being able to recognize when the muscles are starting to tighten up and kind of nip it in the bud. Relax them before they get too tight.
Yeah, I'm also noticing. I'm also noticing. Right now, for example, like I'm just laying here and I'm just talking to you on the phone, and I'm holding the phone, and right now I just try to like lift up my left arm that I'm holding the phone in, and my hand,
Right.
my hand and arm is like shaking. It's like the nerves are not allowing my hand to move smoothly up and down. I don't know if that's because of the nerves being damaged or the nerves in my neck being damaged that are attached to the nerves in my arms or
So you don't have damaged nerves coming from your neck to your arms. You have a mild entrapment of one nerve at your left elbow. So everything else you're experiencing is just muscular pain. It's not your nerves. Your nerves are functioning good. We got really good look at all those nerve pathways when the electricity running through them from the EMG and the nerve conduction test. So, like I said, a lot of that is because of all your anxiety, PTSD, depression, whatever. You don't have damaged nerves. So, all right. So now we're at 44 minutes and 44 seconds. So, I'll let you.
is there a specialist that you could refer me to for the pain that I keep feeling in my neck and in my back?
Yeah, I mean, we can refer you to pain management, but you'll have to go see them. They can't treat you over the phone. Yeah, that's the problem.
I need a diagnosis for the pain, because I mean I can't just keep saying my neck is always hurting, my back is always hurting, and it's genuinely, it's hurting me really bad,
Right,
and
but
I'm noticing people are asking me, well, what did they diagnose you with? And I keep telling them I don't know. I just remember that they told me several different things several different times. Once they've told me I had cervical radiculopathy.
But you don't. Okay, we just ruled that out with those tests. So that just means pressure on the nerves leaving your neck, and you don't have that. You have cervicalgia, which means neck pain, and it's musculoskeletal. I think I recall seeing one of your imaging studies that showed a little bit of disc degeneration. That sets up arthritis type stuff in the neck, and that causes muscle spasm. But none of that is actually affecting the nerves. So it's all musculoskeletal in your spine and the muscles that wrap all around your spine.
So if I exercise, it's gonna make it worse, or is it gonna be better by increasing the strength in those areas?
Right. So long term, I mean, short term, yeah, it hurts because those joints and those muscles aren't used to it. So you have to slowly stretch and use heat and use ice and work those muscles. But the more you do it, then the less you'll hurt. I mean, that's what physical therapy is all about. Is rehabbing those muscles, getting more flexibility and more strength, and less weakness, less pain, less spasm.
So if I go to occupational therapy, and being that I want to be a lawyer and or a medical professional, and I go to occupational therapy, could I do the occupational therapy and the occupational therapy for those specific careers? So when I graduate, I'll have enough strength in those areas to where it won't hurt. Because literally, when I'm just brushing my teeth, for example, my back pain in my lower back is so intense that I literally have to stop brushing my teeth, and then I turn around and walk away from the sink, and I can't even stand up straight. My body's like stuck in a hunched over position.
Right. So number one, you don't brush your teeth in a hunched over position. You open up the cabinet door and put your foot inside the cabinet, and you lean forward so all the weight goes on your leg, not in your back muscles, or you sit down and brush your teeth. I mean, there's ways you do these things that occupational therapy and physical therapy teach you, so you're not straining those muscles. You should never just bend over to wash dishes or brush your teeth. Those things, there are ways of doing that where you don't put all that pressure on your back. Understood. So the problem is we can't get physical therapy and occupational therapy to come to your home. So you have to be able to go to them, and that's where we run into difficulties. So, but maybe we can get you.
Could you tell them? Could you tell them that you're referring me to the occupational therapy or the physical therapy, and that you're referring also that they order sanitary transportation vehicles that don't smell bad?
I can't control all that. I don't know that anybody can control all that. I think the first step is probably going to be your mental health, so that you don't decompensate every time you get in a dirty car. I mean, that's not normal. That's psychotic. It shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I'm concerned. At this point, I'm concerned because it's happening so much, and I'm on, like I said, I'm on Social Security disability income. The government is.
I understand. All right, listen. We're now at 40, almost 50 minutes. I got to go. First thing we need to work on is the mental health. I can't get anywhere until we get that better. We're just going in circles.
Right.
All right. All right, so you'll hear from me through the portal.
All right. So, what do you? I mean, as of right now, is there anything that you could think of that might be a good medication for me?
Not really, because I can't see all those meds, and I know they're all kind of interrelated. So that's why I want to get a psychiatrist who, is an expert in psychopharmacology to try to help figure this out.
Yeah. But see, I thank you and thank you for acknowledging that. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you acknowledging that those things are interrelated. And the main thing also is, I don't want to be similar to the previous people in South Florida. They kind of forced me against my will to get injections to the medications that I mentioned to you that cause
Right.
allergic reactions, and it caused a lot more problems. So I've also been really scared to speak to psychiatrists and things like that. So I've always mentioned if I could speak to a talk therapist, specifying that I only want to talk to the therapist, not.
No, I think talk therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy is critically important. But there's a point where you need more than that, and that's where medications could come in. But we'll see what we can arrange. I think a combination of both would be ideal, and nobody's going to give you anything that you don't agree to. We're never going to force anything on you. That's assault.
Right.
You have to. We have to give you informed consent before you agree to do anything. I explain to you what the possible things that this pill could do before you take it. So you really shouldn't have to worry about that.
And tell them too that when you put the referral in there, make sure you specify that so they know that you're aware of that, and you're making them aware of something that they should already be aware of also. Because
it's all in your chart. I mean, every one of those adverse reactions is in there. All right, I will get back with you through the portal once we can get something going. All right.
Thank you, Dr. George Whitten. Is there anything I could do for you?
No, you're good. Just try to feel better. Look up those relaxation techniques and work on those.
Yeah, and do you have my email address? duediligencecorporate@gmail.com.
We don't do emails. We do everything through the portal.
Okay, because I just want to make sure that I could get a copy of the
Right, I can put the whole thing to you through the portal, and because we know that's encrypted and it's safe.
Okay.
So they don't let us do stuff.
It'll be visible in the form of like a actual document, like if you were to send an attachment on the email.
Yeah.
Okay. That should definitely help. Just in case if they don't receive it at the email that they told me to send it to, then at least I can forward it to them. But if you send it to them directly and you send me a copy of it, that definitely should work. Just like you mentioned.
All right. Very good.
Thank you, Dr.
Good night. All right. Bye.
Thank you. The time now is 5:39 p.m. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The duration of this audio transcript is 58 minutes and 54 seconds. Hello, this is Omar.
Hi, Omar. This is Cooper calling from FSU Primary Health with Dr. Whitten's office. How are you doing?
It all depends. So many things are going on, man. I'm in pain right now. My back is hurting. I just tried to brush my teeth. I couldn't even stand up long enough to finish brushing my teeth. There's so many problems, man.
I'm calling you now just to get you checked in and get everything situated before I send you the invitation link to do the telehealth with Dr. Whitten, okay?
Sure. Thank you.
Alrighty. So wanted me to go down a rundown of everything going on. So I know back in March you had that EMG study. What's changed
They said I had nerve entrapment. The same problems though. My neck and back keeps hurting. My hands and arms keep going numb. I've noticed though the tightness in my legs is not as intense as it was a week ago. Other than that, everything's still the same. My gums are still bleeding. What else? The snot that's coming out of my nose is causing me to have pimples on my face wherever the snot is touching. I'm not able to clean it thoroughly. I'm trying to do everything I possibly could, man. I need help. I need a home health aide. I need accommodations at school. They told me, I called the school and I explained to them the situation and that it's making me sad also. And I need counseling. And they told me to get a diagnosis from my primary care physician so they could so I could email that to them. They could document it and they could provide me the accommodations for school. They said they could help me with giving me extra time to take tests. They could help me with providing me somebody to help me with take my notes for school, for all of my classes. What else?
Okay.
Obviously, some kind of counseling services or something.
Okay. And then I know you've been telling us about pain in your upper extremities. So how's the pain been, and where has it been?
It's bad, man. It's all over my back. It'll go from my neck to my back to my middle back to my lower back to the side of my back to the other side of my back. The same thing with the hands and arms keep going numb. They both keep going numb. Sometimes one at a time. Sometimes both at a time. What else? Sometimes when I'm brushing my teeth, I've noticed when I'm brushing the left side of my teeth, the left side of my face will start feeling paralyzed. Sometimes I'm having difficulty speaking quick enough. What else? I feel like there's something clogged in my airways. I'm having difficulty breathing sometimes.
Okay. So you're having some trouble breathing?
Yes. Another big concern is, like, for example, when I'm brushing my teeth. Like right now, I was just trying to brush my teeth, and I couldn't stand the pain long enough to stand up while I was brushing my teeth and leaning over the sink. I was holding on to the sink.
And that was when you were moving around?
Yeah, well, this was just right now, right before you called, approximately 5 minutes ago.
Okay, and where's that? And that's the neck and back pain and the numbness in your hands. Any pain in your feet?
Right now, they kind of feel like tingly a little bit. I'm just standing up right now, holding the phone.
Okay. And then in regard to the accommodations for school, so they need a diagnosis for a mood disorder, you said?
Say that again?
And you said for the accommodations for school, they were needing a diagnosis for, are you saying like you're experiencing a depressive disorder?
I don't know if it's called depressive anymore, because when I mentioned this same situation previously to the hospital, they said it's not depression. They said depression is when someone wants to kill themselves. And they asked me if I want to kill myself. I said no. I said I'm just feeling sad.
Depression is always that you are suicidal. Depression, you said you've been feeling down and sad.
Yeah, I've been feeling sad because of everything that I just mentioned to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well then.
But I obviously don't want to kill myself because I'm trying to accomplish things in life. So
yes. No, I understand. So in order to get the diagnosis of the depressive disorder, I'll just do real quick 2 screenings with you, which is just questions, and you just answer them for me, just so we have them on record. And so the first one is PHQ-9, and that's the depression screening. And so the answers to these questions will be not at all, several days, more than half the days, or nearly every day. Okay? All right, I'll start now. So little interest or pleasure in doing things.
No, it's more of a difficulty in doing things, an interest in doing things, if that makes sense.
Is that nearly every day?
Yeah, every day, all day.
Okay. Feeling down, depressed, or hopeless?
Feeling sad.
Okay.
Sad and hopeless, but not wanting to kill myself though. Just really sad.
How about trouble falling or staying asleep or sleeping too much?
Yeah, I'm having difficulty sleeping too much. I'm having difficulty not sleeping enough. I'm having difficulty not being able to sleep long enough. I'm having difficulties being able to sleep on time, so I could at least, have like a realistic schedule. Unless I'm going to be planning on working night shift for the rest of my life again.
Okay. How about feeling tired or having little energy?
Yes. Yeah. Having difficulties with energy. I'm having difficulties not having enough energy. I'm experiencing difficulties not having enough energy. I'm experiencing difficulties trying to have enough energy.
And is all these nearly every day?
Every day, the entire day. Every day, all day.
How about poor appetite or overeating?
Both. Sometimes I'm having difficulties overeating. I'm noticing that when I'm really sad, it's kind of like I can't really find anything else to kind of make me feel better, so I'll just eat food. And then sometimes I don't have appetite at all because I'm feeling very sad. Sometimes I don't have appetite at all because I'm feeling sad.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about feeling bad about yourself or that you are a failure or have let yourself or your family down?
Every day, all day, okay. I feel like that.
And how about trouble concentrating on things, such as reading the newspaper or watching television or other daily tasks?
I don't have difficulty watching television or reading the newspaper or watching anything or reading anything. I'm having difficulty being able to focus and remember what I'm watching and reading and being able to use that information, for something like, for example, for school or for documentation purposes or things like that.
All right. And then the next
I'm noticing I'm getting distracted really easily. And then when I'm getting distracted, it's like my body's just like seizing up. It's like it's locking up, and I'm noticing like maybe sometimes my legs or my arms, they're like locking up and seizing up on me. And then when I notice, I have to like relax my entire body. And then I notice that, my heart is beating really fast when I notice that. And then I relax my body, take a deep breath, and I notice my heartbeat slows down. So it's like something's going on with the nerves or something. Okay.
Well, the next one we'll do is the GAD-7, which is an anxiety screening. So how about feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge?
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Maybe.
Is that every day?
Every day, the entire day.
Okay. How about not being able to stop or control worrying?
Yeah, every day, the entire day. Like right now, my right arm, I feel like a sharp pain, like a paralyzing pain go through my right arm as soon as you said the symptoms of the anxiety.
How about trouble relaxing or being so restless that it's hard to sit still?
No, I could sit still, but it's like I'm noticing that when I'm trying to relax and sit still and like focus on something or listen to something or watch something, that I'm noticing like my one of my body parts will seize up and it'll lock up on me, and I won't even notice it until it starts like really hurting or something, or I start noticing that I'm having difficulties understanding what they're saying, and they're speaking English, and then I notice, okay, hold on, my arm or my leg is seizing up, or my, something is wrong, and then I'll take a deep breath and I'll just relax all my limbs and my body, and then I'll notice my heartbeat will slow down a little bit.
Okay. And how about being easily annoyed or irritable?
Not as much as it was before when I was living at the uninhabitable rental properties. But it still happens, even though I'm at a brand new construction property.
Okay. And how about feeling afraid as if something awful might happen?
Every day, all day long, every day, I feel like that.
Okay.
Well, I notice that feeling. I don't like that. I notice that feeling every day, the entire day.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I'm going to do all of this to Dr. Whitten, and then while I do that, and this is the right phone number to send the video link to, correct?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, then I'm going to get off the phone with you, go get this to Dr. Whitten, and then text you the link to join the video call, and then he should be on that call in just a little bit with you, okay?
Inshallah. Thank you, sir. And what's your name again?
Cooper.
Cooper. Thank you, Mr. Cooper.
You're very welcome. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
All right, thank you. Bye. Time now is 4:34 p.m. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. The duration of this audio transcript is 12 minutes and 34 seconds. Hello, Zomar.
Good afternoon. I'm calling from FSU Primary Health, Dr. Whitten's office for Mr. Omar Cause.
Yes, hello.
Hi. Dr. Whitten said that he can fit you in for a telehealth appointment today if you're able to.
What time?
It would be at 4 o'clock. Would that be okay?
Is there anything sooner than that?
Actually, it would be 4:20. I'm sorry.
4:20. Why 4:20?
That's just the latest spot. We have patients all day, and 4:20 would be the only time that we could fit you in.
Anything later than 4:20?
Yes, and it would be a telehealth appointment. So you would get a text message from us, and you would just click the link, and Dr. Whitten will be able to talk to you.
Is there anything later than 4:20?
Anything later? No. That is our last appointment of the day.
Okay. That's with
Okay?
George Whitten, Dr. George Whitten, right?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so I'll put you down for then, and then at 4:20 you'll get a link that you can click on, and then we can talk, okay?
You said you're going to put me down?
I'm going to put you down on the schedule.
No, just schedule me. Don't put me down. I don't feel like dying. I'm not an animal, you know.
I won't put you down, but I'll write your name on the schedule.
Right. Thank you.
No problem. I'll talk to you at 4:20, okay?
I thought I was going to speak to Dr. George Whitten at 4:20.
Correct. I'm going to talk to you first, kind of like how the first visit that you had was. A medical assistant talks to you over the phone first, and then Dr. Whitten will come and talk to you.
Okay.
Okay? All right. We'll see you at 4:20, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
قد صدقت الرؤيا إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إن هذا لهو البلاء المبين وفديناه بذبح عظيم وتركنا عليه في الآخرين سلام على إبراهيم كذلك نجزي المحسنين إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين وبشرناه بإسحاق نبيا من الصالحين وباركنا عليه وعلى إسحاق ومن ذريتهما محسن وظالم لنفسه مبين ولقد مننا على موسى وهارون ونجيناهما وقومهما من الكرب العظيم ونصرناهم فكانوا هم الغالبين وآتيناهما الكتاب المستبين وهديناهما الصراط المستقيم وتركنا عليهما في الآخرين سلام على موسى وهارون إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إنهما من
صدق الله العظيم.
المؤمنين
أستغفر الله
وإن
العظيم.
إلياس لمن المرسلين
So now is 1:36 p.m. Today is Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for calling Student Services. How may I assist you?
I need to obtain counseling services. I'm having difficulties being able to focus on my classes and my studies.
Okay. You're trying to receive accommodations?
Yes, I'm on the website here. It says counseling and mental health services. It says
Are you under SAS?
it says tcc.fl.edu, the Tallahassee Community College website. It says
Yeah, so once you go on there, you're going to go to the search bar. And you're going to type in SAS.
it says student accessibility services.
Yes. So you would have to go to your provider, and you would have to give you an evaluation. And after you do that, to see what they would diagnose you with, you would submit that documentation to us on that website, and then we will be able to assist you with your accommodations from there.
Okay. When you say provider, you mean
Like your doctor.
my primary care physician?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So what do I do exactly? I tell my primary care physician the same thing I told you, and then
Yes.
he writes it on a piece of paper, and then I send it to TCC.
So you would ask him to give you an evaluation to see what he would diagnose you with. And then from there, he should provide you with the documentation, and you would submit it to us, or you would email it to us.
And then after that, what do I do?
After that, you're going to wait for it to come through our system and process, which takes about 2 to 3 days. And then from there, we would set up an intake appointment for you to meet with an advisor to help you get your further services that you need.
Okay. Are we able to do that through like a telehealth or telechat or something, like a video conference or something?
Yes, we offer Zoom options as well.
Okay. And then once I do the intake, what do I do after that?
I'm sorry, I didn't really hear you.
After we do the intake, what do I do after that?
So after after the intake, you should be able to start receiving your services
All right.
and
And then,
getting the, getting extra time if that's what you need, having someone write notes for you, stuff like that for your classes.
all right. Yeah, I think that'll help. So they'll give me extra time to finish my tests and
Yes.
assignments?
Yes. Well, not so much on assignments. It all depends on the teacher, but I do know they give you like time and a half on tests.
All right. And that's for math classes also, right?
Yes, it will be with all your classes.
All right. All right. And then do I have to ask them to put me on a waiting list or something?
I'm sorry?
Do I have to tell them to put me on a waiting list, or do I need to sign something first, or just go to the primary?
No, you just do, yes. Yeah, you just do that, and then from there, you submit the documentation, and you'll give us a call to let us know that you did submit it, and then we would go from there.
All right, and then what email address do I send the documentation to?
So it would be sas@tcc.fl.edu.
Okay, and then do I write attention to anybody specific, or just send it directly to SAS at
No,
TCC?
it would just be to that email.
Okay, and just to verify the spelling, is S as in Sam, A as in Alpha, S as in Sam, at tcc.fl.edu.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Primary.
You've reached FSU Primary Health. If this is a medical emergency, hang up and dial 911. If you're calling for FSU Senior Health or FSU Telehealth, please hang up and dial 850-645-5050. Please choose from the following options. For general information about our practice, including office hours and location, press 1. If you're currently experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 or need to schedule a sick visit, press 2. To schedule, cancel, or confirm a wellness or follow-up appointment, press 3. For information about a pending referral or imaging order, press 4. To speak to a nurse or medical assistant, press 5.
Thank you for calling Florida State University. Your call is important to us. Please hold for the next available representative. Your call will be answered in the order it was received. If you would like for us to save your place in line and call you back when it's your turn, please press 1. Otherwise, please continue to hold. If you would like for us to save your place in line and call you back when it's your turn, please press 1. Otherwise, please continue to hold. If you would like for us to save your place in line and call you back when it's your turn, please press 1. Otherwise, please continue to hold. you would like for us to save your place in line and call you back when it's your turn, please press 1. Otherwise, please continue to hold. If you would like for us to save your place in line and call you back when it's your turn, please press 1. Otherwise, please continue to hold. If you would like for us to save your place in line and call you back when it's your turn, please press 1. Otherwise, please continue to hold. you would like for us to save your place in line and call you back when it's your turn, please press 1. Otherwise, please continue to hold.
Thank you for calling FSU Primary Health. How can I help you?
My name is Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fuad. My member ID number, my Humana member ID number is H08403701. My date of birth is December 14th, 1988. I'm having difficulties being able to focus on my classes and my studies. I called TCC, Tallahassee Community College, and I explained to them the same thing, and they said I have to get a document from my primary care physician saying that, and or diagnosis saying that, and then I have to email them the documentation so I could obtain the accommodations. And they said they'll help me. They said they'll give me extra time for my so I can finish my tests, and they'll help me with the notes for my classes.
Yes. Okay. So, Mr. Omar, that would be an appointment with your provider.
Okay, could we do that over the phone, though? Because my neck is hurting really bad, and my hands and arms keep going numb, and my back is hurting, and they keep sending me unsanitary transportation vehicles that are making me more sick, and I don't want to take that risk again.
Okay, so Mr. Omar, I see that you have an appointment scheduled with Dr. Whitten for May 13th at 8:40. You can discuss that with him then, because he doesn't have anything sooner.
May 13th.
May 13th at 8:40.
So in 2 weeks?
Yes, and you'll have to come into the office.
Could we reschedule that for telehealth?
So Dr. Whitten stated that you will have to come in the office for your next appointment.
Yeah, I would, but I can't take the risk right now. It's just, I have too many injuries, and I'm not feeling well, and I can't take the risk of, putting myself in a predicament again of them sending me an unsanitary transportation vehicle. It's happened too many times, and it hasn't stopped. And I literally,
Okay.
I literally had to call Humana because I couldn't go to the emergency room because of the same reason, and I had to call Humana and explain the situation to them, and they filed the complaint and everything, and they opened the investigation, and they told me
Who filed a complaint?
I filed the complaint, and then they assigned the investigator, and I sent them the exhibits of evidence of the unsanitary of the reoccurring unsanitary vehicles, and then they told me that I could just call the telehealth doctor from Humana on MD Live, and they could just I could tell them the situation, and they could just prescribe me the medication, and they'll deliver it to my house from Costco Pharmacy. And that's what I had to do.
Okay.
But I want to at least try to, keep my school studies and classes so I don't fall too behind. I'm trying to do what I can.
And I do understand, Ms. Omar, but Dr. Whitten have to see you face to face in order to get this for you, okay?
No, I can't do that. I just explained to you. I'm not lying to you. I'm not going to go there in person.
No, Ms. Omar, I didn't say you were lying. I didn't say you were lying.
I know, but I don't want to keep repeating myself. I'm not going to go there in person. Could we schedule it for telehealth? Just explain to him what I just told you. He'll understand. He's a doctor.
Okay, so the last time that you phoned in stating that you could not come in, due to that, I did speak with Dr. Whitten about it, and he stated that you will have to come into the office for your next appointment. We can't do the telehealth.
But I'm not trying to be rude, and I don't want to keep repeating myself. I've been having to go through a situation where I've been having to repeat myself several times, and it involves my injuries and me not feeling well because of the police brutality case and them falsifying the police reports. And I can't, like I said, just please tell him the situation and explain to him the telehealth situation is a necessity right now. Until I'm able to, fix the situation with them sending me on sanitary vehicles and my pain in my neck and my back and my hands and arms going numb, reaching a tolerable level, then I'll be able to go there in person.
Yes. So, Ms. Omar, he is aware of that. And he stated that your next visit will have to be an in-person visit.
Yeah, it's not possible right now. I don't want to change primary care physicians because of a medical necessity, because, he's already a doctor, so it doesn't make sense for me to change a primary care physician for a medical necessity. And me having to explain everything that I already explained to Dr. Whitten and write all the notes that I've already written to Dr. Whitten and have another doctor acknowledge everything that I've already had Dr. George Whitten acknowledge and spoken to him about. And, it's just going to make more problems for me. It's going to make my injuries hurt worse. It's going to make me feel more sick. And I'm not trying to go through all that again.
Even with that next appointment that's scheduled May the 13th, that's an in-person visit.
Yeah, it's not. I need to change that to telehealth, please.
I can't change it.
Well, what other options do I have?
We can either, there's not another option. Dr. Whitten stated that you will have to come in person for your next appointment.
Okay, what other options do I have? I'm not able to go there.
Did you want to just cancel the appointment? Because that's the only option we have right now is to get you in person to see Dr. Whitten.
It's not possible. It's not possible, ma'am. Do I need to escalate it to a supervisor or something?
I mean,
Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes.
So she's in a meeting right now.
Okay.
I can transfer you to her line, her extension. You can leave a message.
No. I need to speak with someone in person.
For her to call you back.
No, thank you. Could I speak with someone in person right now, please? Because I want to go to sleep. I don't feel good.
So this is what I'm saying. She's in training. She's been our office manager has been in training all day. She's in a meeting right now. So
okay, could you?
I can transfer you to her. I can transfer you to her extension. You can leave a message.
No. I said no. I said no. I said no. Ma'am, could you
Mr.
just tell?
Omar,
Could you?
I listen to you. Can you please listen to me?
I heard you, ma'am. Could you just tell? I heard you. I said no. Could you just tell Dr. George Whitten that it's an urgent matter and I'm not able to go there in person? I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm not trying to make my injuries worse. You understand? I just tell him, he'll understand. Okay. Please.
So listen. This is what we can do. You can go onto your patient portal and send him a message to explain the situation to Dr. Whitten. Because as of right now, Dr. Whitten is stating that you will have to come in the office in person for a visit.
Okay. What I'm saying, though, I don't want to waste any time. You understand? I don't want to write a message on the portal about something he's already aware of, and then him just telling me that he needs me to go into the office, and then me having to say the same thing over again on the message, and then him saying the same thing. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't help me. You understand?
I am helping you. I do understand. I'm helping you.
I'm not saying you're not helping me.
Dr. Whitten is not even. Dr. Whitten is not even in the office right now.
I understand. I'm not saying you're not helping me. What I'm saying is I understand you're busy. You know, it's a doctor's office. I understand that. I'm not saying you're not doing your job. I'm not saying Dr. George Whitten is not doing his job. What I'm telling you is I'm not able to go into the office. I understand you want me to be able to go into the office. That's understandable. I appreciate your concern from, from a I don't know what the word. Yeah, I don't know what the word is, but I appreciate your concern. It's like a I don't know what the word is, but I understand. Your intentions. Your intentions is you want me to be able to go into the office in person. I can't do that right now, and I can't take the risk because of the circumstances. So that's what I'm saying. I need you to reschedule it for telehealth. If you need to reschedule it for a different day that he has telehealth, then that's an option as well.
Okay. So I can reschedule the appointment, your face-to-face appointment, but for telehealth appointments, the doctor has approved the telehealth appointment.
Okay. So how long does that take? I mean, I need to know whether I need to find another doctor or what I need to do because, it's a very simple thing. Telehealth is telehealth. It means face to face. If he needs to put his hands on me and, check my lymph nodes and all whatever he has to do, that's understandable. But right now, I'm not able to do that because I can't take the risk of going there until they resolve this investigation with the unsanitary transportation vehicles that they're sending me to go to and from my doctor's appointments and returning home from the emergency rooms.
Okay. I mean, so I've heard you, state that, but like it's out of my hands. I can't switch your appointment to a telehealth appointment without the approval of Dr. Whitten.
Okay, what telehealth?
And as of,
what telehealth appointments does he have available right now?
Dr. Whitten has to approve telehealth appointments. And as of right now, Dr. Whitten is stating that he will need to see you in the office.
Okay, is there a nurse practitioner there that I could schedule a telehealth with?
No.
Is there any other kind of doctor there that I could schedule telehealth with?
No.
Oh, is the supervisor still in the meeting?
Because it looks like your last 2 visits were telehealth visits.
Okay, is the supervisor still in the meeting? Or?
Yes, she's still in a meeting. I think pretty much she's going to be in the meeting all this afternoon. I mean, I'm not just saying that because there's something new that's going on with our office, so they're working on that. But like I said, I can transfer you to her extension where you can leave a message for her to call you back.
Okay. And what's her name?
Her name is Pauline.
Pauline what?
Pauline.
What's her name? What's her last name?
So she goes by Pauline.
Yeah, but what is she, a doctor? Is she a nurse? What is she?
She's our office manager.
She's not a nurse or a doctor or anything like that?
She's our office manager.
Is there someone else I can speak with or speak to right now about this, please? It shouldn't be this difficult for me.
Why is it difficult, Mr. Omar?
I just told you, ma'am. Is there someone else I can speak with, please?
Again, Dr. Whitten has stated that you will have to come see him in person.
Yeah, but I'm not able to do that. That's what I'm saying.
So did you want me to cancel the appointment, Mr. Omar?
Not if it's not necessary to cancel it. If we could reschedule it for telehealth like I did previously, because I wasn't able to go there, then that's what we need to do.
Hold on 1 minute for me, Mr. Omar, okay?
Oh, my God. My hands and arms are numb.
All right, Mr. Omar. I can get maybe let me leave Dr. Whitten a message to see whenever you get a spare moment to give you a call back, okay? Or maybe our office manager can give you a call back, okay?
For what exactly? For the telehealth? Or for them to tell me I need to find a new doctor? What exactly are you referring to exactly so I can make sure?
I don't know if
I don't want to be rude.
Find a new doctor. Right. So I don't know if that's what the conversation is going to lead to. But what I'm saying is, you're not agreeing to a face-to-face office visit.
No. Tell them I want to. If they could give me some kind of miracle.
You want to what?
I want to go to the office. I want to go to school.
Come to the office. Okay.
I want to go to my college. I want to do all those things.
So
if they could give me some kind of miracle.
Going to class either?
I can't. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Well, that's what I was trying to explain to you, that that's why I need the documentation from the doctor so I could provide it to the school, and the school could provide me the accommodations. If there's like some kind of miracle medication or some kind of medication they could give me that could make me, make me feel recovered, so I could go.
Gotcha.
And
so you can focus.
Yeah, and they could make sure that they don't send me unsanitary vehicles that's gonna make me sick. Then that's what I need to do.
So Dr. Whitten cannot provide that service to know if they're going to send you unsanitary vehicles. Now, that's something that he has no control over.
Well, when they sent me a unsanitary vehicle previously to bring me home from the doctor's appointment with after when they sent me an unsanitary transportation vehicle previously after I went to see Dr. George Whitten. The vehicle was unsanitary and it made me feel sick. I had to go back inside the Florida State University Primary Health and tell Dr. George Whitten. I told Dr. George Whitten. After I told Dr. George Whitten, I called the transportation from Humana Medicaid again, and they sent a brand new vehicle. So I know that when I complain to Dr. George Whitten, it helps because I witnessed it help. You understand? And I documented it.
Okay. So, just a question: Have you ever thought about maybe wearing gloves or a mask when you get in the vehicle to help out with that? So you can get to your doctor?
Every time I go to the doctor, I remember, I don't know if you were there, but every time I go to the doctor, I wear gloves. I cover my head, my face. I bring extra shirts and things to cover my head and face. I wear long sleeve. I wear all white to make sure if anything dirty gets on me, they know that it came from wherever I was. Because when I left the house, I wore clean white clothes with no dirt on them. What else? I wear tall socks up to my knees to make sure nothing crawls under my pants and bites me. So I mean, I don't know what else to do. I'm trying to take as many precautions as possible.
So that didn't any of that didn't help?
No, the vehicles are filthy. Like, it's not just the seats are dirty and the vehicles unsanitary. This vehicles will smell bad and toxic, and there'll be a smell in there that's contagious, and it makes me feel sick. And it's the same thing that they've done several times. And the symptoms, they're similar to the coronavirus. My head will start hurting. My body will start heating up. I'll start feeling sick, like a sick pain all throughout my body. What else?
What question, Ms. Omar? So you don't go to the grocery store or anything like that?
No, I don't go in. I don't even leave my house. Everything is delivered to my house from Costco Costco warehouse for my groceries, and then my medication is delivered to me from Costco pharmacy. And anytime they bring me groceries that from a shopper whose vehicle isn't sanitary, and when I bring the groceries inside, sometimes the shopper's vehicle will have a bad smell, and the groceries, the odor or the bacteria would linger onto the bags of groceries. I would have to call and complain, and it's happened several times as well. Recently there was this.
Mr. Omar, do you know how to drive, Mr. Omar?
I know how to drive, yeah, but I can't drive because
You're not driving?
I know how to drive, yeah, but I can't drive right now because of my injuries.
Why? Your injuries?
Yes, and also most recently there was a situation with a young woman. She was a overweight a young woman. She obviously was probably having difficulties keeping up with her hygiene and or her necessary living necessities, and she had my groceries. She had my groceries in the trunk of her vehicle, and she had like what it smelled like was dirty clothes. It smelled like a body odor from lower extremities of a woman, and dirty clothes mixed with perfume sprayed on it. And when she brought when she gave me the groceries are tied up in a bag. When I opened up the bag, that smell immediately entered my nose and made my head hurt, and it made me feel sick, and I had to call the ambulance, and it was a problem. But it was similar situation. It's common in many types of high traffic demographic areas. It happens, and but I've had to call and complain and all those things because they're evaluating my injuries and all these different things from a monetary perspective. So I have to do what I can to keep them informed about my living situation and all the difficulties that I'm experiencing. So nobody gets charged for somebody else's mistake. You understand? From a monetary perspective.
Okay. But now, have you tried maybe a different company? Maybe like the Uber or Lyft company or something?
Yeah, well, that's what they're dispatching. They're dispatching a medical Lyft or a medical Uber or sometimes a private medical transportation company. But they're telling me sometimes that they're independent contractors and they're not following the policy or procedure that they're telling them they need to follow when they're hiring when they're hiring them, and they're telling them that they are, but they're not, and that's what's causing the problem.
Okay. How about, have you ever tried a taxi cab?
Yeah, well, there was several occasions where the same thing happened at the hospital, for example, and they kept sending me unsanitary vehicles, and I literally had to walk back into the emergency room and complain, just like I had to do to Dr. George Whitten. And but at the emergency room, they said, you know what, we don't want you to go through that again. We're just gonna call you a yellow. We're gonna call you a yellow cab, and they sent the 777 yellow cab.
And was that fine for you, that ride?
It was. They had leather seats. It looked like they probably obviously wiped them down, but it wasn't. It wouldn't be as sanitary as my own vehicle.
Okay, well, right. So I want you to think about something. It's someone else's personal property is not going to always be as clean as your own personal property. So
correct, yeah, but it's common courtesy and it's policy and procedure. They have to provide transportation that doesn't jeopardize the patient's health and safety. They can't have a vehicle. Right. They can't have a vehicle that their transmission is stalling. They can't have a vehicle that is leaking gas, for example. They can't have they can't have a vehicle where the antifreeze is compromising with the air quality that's coming through the air conditioning. Just little things like that to major things, like, for example, the driver themselves being unsanitary or having some kind of respiratory infection, and him driving patients around and talking and coughing and talking on the phone. It's so many different contributing factors, on top of the fact that if the seats themselves where the patient is sitting aren't clean, and the patient sitting on an unsanitary seat and then having to go back into his own personal property, his house, and transfer that bacteria into his house, and that's what washing machines are for. You understand? So the acknowledgement of a washing machine is the reason why they have policies and procedures for rideshare transportation vehicles or medical rideshare transportation vehicles to be sanitary in the first place. You understand? If washing machines didn't exist, it wouldn't make a difference, because they wouldn't know that there's a necessity of things needing to be washed that are coming in contact with a human's person.
Have you ever thought about bringing? I know they're supposed to do this, but have you ever thought about having your own wipes and wiping down the vehicle before you get in there?
Yeah. Every time I go, I bring like a seat cover. It's like the only ones I've really been able to find that were big enough were the triple XL animal pads where they have cats and dogs urinate and have a bowel movement on instead of urinating and having a bowel movement on the floor inside their owner's house. And they're disposable. So I bring some of those. I'll bring one with me for when I go to the doctor, and then one with me for the return ride home from the doctor. And it's just I made them aware of that also, and it was as if they were purposely sending unsanitary vehicles, just to make me upset and make me complain, or use me as a mechanism to weed out the medical rideshare transportation vehicles that aren't following policy and procedure, because they know that I'm going to complain because I have to. I mean, there's no other explanation. Well, there's no other explanation. I mean, it could only be so many things. It's just like there's only so many subjects that somebody could study in school, and there's only so many careers that a person could have. And there's only so much money that a person could accumulate. You understand?
I do understand. So, in order to, like I said, Dr. Wynn has, accommodated you for your last 2 visits as telehealth. But, with certain things, he has to see you in the office. Like, we can't do over the phone.
Okay, well, in the meantime, for this situation involving school, just tell them to do the telehealth, because they need a diagnosis. And to be honest with you, it's making me sad. That's what I'm noticing the most. It's making me sad a lot. And, it's making it that much more difficult for me to be able to focus on anything. And and also, I'm in pain. Like right now, I'm just holding the phone talking to you. My right shoulder is hurting. My hands and arms are going numb. My neck is hurting. When I got up to brush my teeth, my back was hurting while I was brushing my teeth. The left side of my face starts to feel like it's like paralyzed when I'm brushing the left side of my teeth. What else? When I'm showering, my back is always hurting. My neck is always hurting. It takes me a lot longer to shower, especially because I'm showering from the top down. I'm trying to make sure I clean my body thoroughly. And those, after I use the bathroom, when I'm cleaning myself, my back will be hurting. I have to wipe myself, and then I have to wait, because if I keep just wiping myself and bending forward and wiping myself and bending forward, it hurts my back a lot. What else? I bought a bidet. I bought a bidet so it could help with that, but the bidet that I bought, it's like it makes it difficult for me also, because when I use the bidet, the water splashes all over the place, and then I have to spray everything down several times.
Who put that in for you?
I put it in. I just had to screw it into the.
You did?
Yeah, but I didn't like. There's a thing where you have to hook it onto the side of the toilet and all that. I couldn't do all that. I just screwed it into the connection on the bottom of the toilet, and hung it onto the where the toilet paper roll is.
Gotcha.
But that was difficult for me also because I had to unscrew it with the adjustable wrench, and it was difficult for me because my neck and my arm was hurting, and it's like there wasn't a lot of room back there, and the way I had to turn my hand and my neck, it kept hurting, so it took me a lot longer. There's so many different things, but at the same time, if, for example, if I had to defend myself, I would be able to defend myself, but I'm going to be in a lot more pain than I would be if I wasn't injured defending myself. You understand? I'm a trained mixed martial artist, but at the same time, at the same time, I have injuries. You understand? So everything that I'm supposed to be able to do, I can't do it as good as I would be able to as if I wasn't injured or as if I wasn't in pain.
So that's where it comes to with Dr. Whitten. That's why he needs to see you.
No.
So he make sure he's treating you like he's supposed to.
Right.
So you can go back to doing all those things.
Yeah, but that's him seeing me right now is not possible. And I understand what you're saying, but it's, like I said again, it's not possible right now. Nor am I exaggerating. It's not possible right now. The risks outweigh the benefits right now, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all, and that's what's bothering me also, and that's what's making me sad also.
Okay, well, we don't want you to be sad.
Yeah, I'm not depressed because they said depression means somebody wants to kill themselves. I don't want to kill myself, so I'm not depressed.
Well, no, not really. Not really. That don't always mean that, though.
Well,
that's not always what that means.
Well, then the emergency room lied to me. The emergency room lied to me then. But whatever the word is, from a elementary school perspective, I feel sad. That's the only way I can describe it. I feel sad because, I'm trying to do everything I possibly could, but I'm having difficulties doing them because of all these circumstances I just mentioned to you. That's it. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to go further into.
Yeah. So I just wish, I really hope and wish that you can just make it to your appointment in person. So that way you can come in. And then sometimes, too, the insurance play a part in that, too, as well. So if you can come in for this appointment, who knows? Maybe you can do telehealth for the rest of the year. So it has its benefits on you coming into the office.
Yeah, but
he can't not.
The risks outweigh the benefits. The risks outweigh the benefits, and then also another thing too. It's I have to be realistic about the situation. I can't acknowledge a situation from a perspective of the reality of it and what's happening to me, like I just mentioned to you, and then do something to make it worse. From a monetary perspective and a health perspective, that doesn't help me. That hurts me. You understand? That's just like saying, for example, what's the word? If Dr. George Whitten tells me, hey, Omar, you can't eat McDonald's cheeseburgers anymore because you're allergic to the grease that they use to make the burgers. And he tells me that, and I ate the burgers and I got sick because I was allergic to the grease. But I kept eating McDonald's burgers, knowing that the doctor told me it makes me sick, and me clearly acknowledging that it made me sick, which is the reason why I went to the doctor in the first place. because I got sick from the McDonald's burgers, for example. You understand? It's not. It doesn't benefit me from a monetary perspective or health perspective to do something like that. So
that's even like with medications. It's a state law with certain medications. You have to come in the office every 3 months.
Yeah, I don't need
in order to get that medication, or listen, or the doctor will lose their license.
No, I'm not gonna let that happen. They wanted me to complain about Dr. George Whitten not sending me the referrals for the home health aid after the Humana told me that he's allowed to send me a referral for a home health aid. I just have to tell him to put the request in, and they'll consider it, and things like that. And I said, no, I'm not going to complain about that. You understand? I mean, I don't want my primary care physician to be retaliated against. I know how that feels, and I don't want to change my primary care physician and then me having to explain all this situation that I already explained to Dr. George Whitten and wrote the messages to him about, and he acknowledged them. You know, I'm not going through that again. I went through that many times in South Florida, and they did that to me on purpose. And I'm in Tallahassee, Florida now for my safety. I'm not going to go through that again. I've already experienced that. I already am aware clearly and convincingly, you know, what their motives are. And, you know, their motives are, one of several things is that they're trying to get me to accept a settlement amount that is much less than what I'm entitled to. And the insurance company is trying to make me feel a certain way about that. So they're trying to, the insurance company is trying to put me in situations to where they'll make me feel like, you know, I deserve a much lesser amount than what I'm actually entitled to. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, they do that.
Hold on 1 second. Hello, assalamu alaikum, ya mama. ازيك يا ماما؟ ازاي صحتك؟
الحمد لله. انت عامل ايه؟
الحمد لله. انا على الخط التاني بكلم مع الدكتور's اوفيس. اكلمك بعد لما اخلص ان شاء الله.
اوكي باي.
طب السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
You've reached FSU Primary Health. If this is a medical emergency, hang up and dial 911. If you're calling for FSU Senior Health or FSU Telehealth, please hang up and dial 850-645-5050. Please choose from the following options. For general information about our practice, including office hours and location, press 1. If you're currently experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 or need to schedule a sick visit.
Thank you for calling Florida State University. Your call is important to us. Please hold for the next available representative.
Thank you for calling FSU Primary Health. How can I help you?
Yes, my mom called me on the other line, and then when I tried to click over, the phone hung up.
I wonder what happened. I said he hung up on me.
No, so what was I saying? So what I was mentioning to you, that's what they've been doing, and it's happened so many times that, you know, I can't allow it to continue. In the beginning, I was under the impression that they were doing that from a security perspective, in a sense, or at least I was hoping they were doing that from a security perspective, but it turned out that they were doing that out of a desperate defense from my opposing counsels. And I kept overlooking the fact that my opposing counsels are government employees in the city of Miami, working for the city of Miami, city and state government, because they're responsible for the City of Miami Police Department, the police department that's responsible for the injuries that caused my that's responsible for the injuries that the officers caused to my neck and my back and my lower extremities. And also, I'm on Social Security disability income, and I'm receiving money from the United States Treasury, a municipality of city and state government, once again. And my health insurance, and my health insurance is government Medicaid health insurance, another municipality of city and state government. So they have access to all of my banking information, my interest of purchases, my pattern of spending, my interest in purchases, my doctor's appointments, my health information, my complaints, my resources. They have access to all of that. And, you know, my phones have been unethically hacked. I've been electronically harassed and all these things. Yeah, and it's the only way that
Why have you been harassed?
Because they're my opposing counsels, and I filed complaints about them. And the only way that somebody would ever be able to unethically hack my phones the way they did and electronically harass me to the extent that they did is with the resources of, you know, a police officer or a police officer's friends. And you know, it's happened so many times, you know, and I was hoping for a long time that it was just all because of from a security perspective, but they didn't keep me secure. They were negligent in doing that, because there were several situations where my injuries have gotten worse because of the harassment. There were several situations where I got sick because of the harassment. There were several situations that I got sick and injured because of the negligence of my opposing councils, which are municipalities of city and state government, and the resources that they provide when somebody's on Social Security disability income and has government health insurance and those contributing factors. What else? So it's so many things. It's obvious, and I'm not the first person to complain about that either. So I and it's happened to more than 100 people, and you know, I know that they're very well organized and experienced in, you know, these types of situations, and the type of people that are vulnerable to be affected by these situations. And they're well aware of who will be affected more or have a more likely chance of being affected by these types of situations than other people. And that's obviously, you know, somebody who is, you know, not as rich. You know, if somebody has a lot of money, they obviously won't be depending on those type of resources. They'll be able to afford, you know, quality preventative care and all those things that are necessary living necessity, something that they were negligent in doing. And I asked for several times.
Have you ever thought about maybe speaking with a counselor or, you know, psychiatrist or anything about it?
Yeah, that's why I was calling today. Remember what I was saying earlier, that my school, to teach Tallahassee Community College, where I'm going to school, or where I'm trying to go to school now on the online classes. He said I needed to get a doctor's diagnosis and I need to email it to them so they could provide me the accommodations and the counseling and the help with my classes and the extra time to do my tests and someone to help me with my notes and things like that.
Okay. Do you have like a sister and brother that lives here in Tallahassee with you?
Why?
I'm just saying they can, kind of help you with certain things
No, I'm in.
to get done for you.
No, I'm in Tallahassee entirely for my safety. I'm not because of the harassment. I'm not able to see my children. I'm not able to see my brothers and sisters. I'm not able to see my family.
Oh, you have kids?
Yes, I have two daughters, a 16-year-old daughter and a almost 3-year-old daughter now.
Oh. Okay. Well, I hope I hope you get this situated so you can see them.
Yeah, monetary relief helps. So, I've acknowledged that several times over, and that's at this point it's the only thing that's going to help me. I mean, I've called attorneys to help me, and the first thing they say is I need $15,000 to even help you. So monetary relief is a necessity at this point, and the only thing that's stopping me from fully recovering is money and monetary relief. So I need to make sure I do everything I possibly could and document everything so my opposing counsels have no excuse. Because the only excuse the only defense that they've had is a technicality, and the technicality is me not being able to go to my court hearings and them classifying the case as a lack of prosecution, and that was because of no fault of my own, and therefore the case is turned into an equitable tolling remedy matter. And they hate that. They hate when somebody has a remedy that eliminates their defense. So they do things like what I mentioned to you out of retaliation and out of desperate defenses.
Oh, wow.
But what's good? What's good though? They had a report yesterday from the White House. It said, hold on, let me pull it back up. It said it's from the White House. It says April 29th, 2024, press briefing by Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. She specifically stated that the president acknowledges that the pandemic has affected everybody, and it's affected everybody's necessary living necessities in a sense to a very, very great extent, and by them acknowledging that more than they already have. After since they've provided people stimulus checks, which is an acknowledgement of in its own that people need to be able to afford their necessary living necessities at the least. But them reassuring that acknowledgement yesterday, it is it reassures the remedy of what I just mentioned to you, that the case is turned into an equitable tolling remedy matter. Because I can't control there being a global pandemic that's affected several people because people weren't able to afford their necessary living necessities, their hygiene products, their quality medical care, quality preventative care, and the price of inflation, causing people to become injured and sick and not being able to afford their necessary living necessities and all of those contributing factors. So them reassuring that acknowledgement yesterday is good, because a lot of the time, the lawyers would try to utilize a desperate defense, and they'll distract things and distract, the facts, and they'll try to manipulate the facts, similar to a police officer falsifying a police report so he doesn't get in trouble. And a lot of time, lawyers, they'll do similar tactics, and they'll try to act like things weren't said, and they'll try to act like, for example, those things, because they were said so long ago, is not important anymore, or because those things happened so long ago, it's not important anymore. And that's just another form of deceitful oblivion, which is a violation of 18 USC SS 1513, 18 United States Code Statute 1513. That's a retaliation against the victim, witness, or informant statute. And when they do that, and also violate Statute 766.110. Statute 766.110 is the healthcare liability statute. That becomes an even bigger federal crime, because the violation of 18 USC SS 1513 itself is already...
What was that statute number again?
The first one is 18 USC Uniform Sam Charlie, 18 USC SS 1513. And the second one that they violated is Statute 766.110. That's the healthcare liability statute. And them violating the 18 USC SS 1513 is a statute that is violated when more than one government employee retaliates against a victim, witness, or informant, and causes injuries or illnesses to the victim, witness, or informant. And then when they do that, also when violating Statute 766.110, the healthcare liability statute, that becomes an even more serious problem, because a lot of times what will happen is, when someone goes to a hospital or emergency room or things of that nature, and they're aware that they're there because of the injuries that a government employee caused them or a police officer caused them, and the patient has government health insurance, for example, and they're aware that they need to bill their government health insurance, and they're worrying that, they might not be able to obtain payment, or they might be retaliated against if they act in favor of the patient and victim who is injured and is there. They tend to do things to make it more difficult for the patient, and they do that to help the government employee that injured them or the police officer that injured them. And it happens a lot. And that's what they did to me in South Florida. That's why I'm in Tallahassee, Florida now. And it's happened so many times that it's empowered several different municipalities of city and state government, because they're obviously aware in real time that I'm reporting these situations, and they're allowing them to continue to happen. So they feel empowered to be able to continue to do those things to me. And but what? That's
not good.
Right.
That's not good.
But what they've noticed is that I didn't give up, which is what they're used to. They're used to people giving up by now, and I can't give up, because I have children, I have a family that depends on me, and if I give up, it's as if I would be doing an injustice to my family, let alone myself and my peers. So it's either I do everything I possibly could, or I don't. And if I don't, then it's going to ultimately affect my family more than it already has. And I can't allow that to happen.
Yeah, that's not good. I'm sorry that that's happening to you. But I did get word that Dr. Witt is going to call you personally. So don't miss a call, because he's going to call you personally. I want to say he said today. So he's going to call you as soon as he get done with his meeting, his training. Okay?
Okay, so it's 4:08 p.m. right now. Did he say approximately what time?
He did not. But he did say he's going to call you.
Today, for sure.
I know he said he really did want to speak with you. So if it's not today, it'll be in the morning. Because we close at 5. So I don't know if it's going to be after 5 or first thing in the morning. I don't know. He didn't say, because like I said, he's still in a meeting. They're all in a meeting still. So, but he's going to call you.
Okay. Let me see. So tomorrow's the 1st. Tomorrow's Wednesday, May 1st.
I'm sorry?
No, I was looking at my calendar. So tomorrow's Wednesday, May 1st, 2024. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, my phone's right next to me, so I'll be able to hear when he calls.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
Same deal.
Okay.
My left arm is numb. The time now is 4:09 p.m. Today is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. The time now is, the duration of this audio transcript is 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 24 seconds. Once again, the time now is 4:09 p.m. Today is Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.